Hi, my name is Alex Bibbs, and I'm a technical sales specialist with IBM focused on data and AI and business automation. This short video is going to show you how I used Watson Discovery and Watson Assistant to build out a use case for WPS. First, let's understand what Watson Discovery is. Watson Discovery is more than just a search tool, right? It's a powerful platform providing both document and language understanding to uncover hidden insights within information. Now, that's a lot of words. What does that really mean? Well, Watson Discovery does four things to get information. It extracts, it enriches, it enhances, and it analyzes. In my use case that I built out for you, which took about 15 minutes, all I did was just extract. I did not do any enriching of the information. I did not enhance the information in any way, shape, or form. And I will show you that during the demonstration of Watson Discovery. So let's take a look at what I did. So here we are inside of Watson Discovery. Now, within Watson Discovery, I have this collection down here from my WPS Webcrawl. Let's take a look at it. Now, this is where I actually did everything that I was going to do. So if I go over and say I want to manage my collections here, I can show you what I did. Okay, and so I'm going to create a new one here so you can see what I did. And it gives me a name. I can upload, I can drag and drop files here. But in my case, I wanted to get it, I'm looking at a different source of information. So Discovery lets me do lots of different things. It lets me either tell me where I can get data from Salesforce, I can get data from SharePoint, on-premise or online, Box, or in my case, I used a web crawl. So I just pointed my Discovery to a web crawl, which was the WPS Health website, and got all my information. Okay, so let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so this is the one that I actually did. Okay, and if I look at my process settings here, this is where I set everything up, right? And a lot of these things were the defaults. It gives me a schedule of how often I want to refresh the information, so how often I want to recrawl it. I can make it either daily, weekly, or monthly. I chose the default of weekly. And then more specifically, I have my list of things of where I'm getting my information from. So in my case, if I start at the bottom, I started at my WPSHealth.com website, and then I did my rate calculators, my agent FAQs, etc. I just pointed it to different pages within my website. Now, the other thing about it is I also then set the limit of how many pages underneath that page I want to go. You can go as many as 5, I believe. So you can actually go to the other levels. I just chose 2, which is the default, and did that. Okay, that's all I did. That's the part of my extract. And I let that go do its thing. And when it finished, it gave me 175 documents that it found based on crawling all of the pages that I pointed it to on your website. To see that in more granular detail, I can see all of the data that's there, okay? And I can see all that stuff, which is all great. So again, 175 pages. Now, as I said, all I did was extract. You can do lots of other things like enrichments. I can tell it what to do. I didn't do anything here, okay? The other thing I can do in my improve and customize, I can also enrich the data and enhance the data here as well. So if I want to extract meanings, like give it dictionaries or entities or keywords, I can do that. If I want to do tech concepts like dictionaries, again, I didn't do any of those things within my enhance or enrich area. So if I clicked on dictionaries, it's going to say there's no dictionaries that are there. Okay. I can also do things like improve my relevance of my information. So if I wanted to actually use some relevance training, if there's certain acronyms or keywords I want to actually focus in on that mean something else that may not be defined clearly on my website, I can put those in here as well. And as you can see, I have nothing there and nothing there as well. Okay, so all I did was just extract. Okay, now I can also do some other things while I'm here. I can actually test and see if things are going to work the way I think they're going to work. Okay. So I can actually do a search and try to find out what it's going to pull back based on the information that it crawled through all those documents. But I'll save that for when I actually do Assistant. But that's Discovery. All I did was just extract the information, did not do any enhancing or enriching or analyzing of that data, and simply got 175 documents based on your website. So we just saw Discovery. Now let's take a look at Watson Assistant. Think of Watson Assistant like a chatbot, right? So I can type in information and it's going to bring back information for me based on what it finds. And in this case, whatever it found in discovery. Now, in my case, my intelligent chatbot simply is just that. It's just an intelligent chatbot that I've pointed to a Watson discovery instance so that I can provide intelligent customer care to my customers. That's all I did. Now let's take a look at how that was done inside of Watson Assistant. Now here I am inside of Watson Assistant, and I called my assistant my WPS AI assistant. Okay. Now, one thing I needed to do was take Watson Discovery and connect it to my Watson Assistant. So if I go over to my actions area here, and if I go into my variables created by me, I can see I have a project ID, and that's all I gave it. So I gave Watson Assistant the project ID for the discovery information that you just saw a little bit earlier. So that one, that WPS Webcrawl project, I gave it that ID for integration purposes. That's it. Okay. Now, if I go ahead and preview this, I can do all kinds of fun things. Okay, I can change the background or change the layout. I'm going to change the background, which is just entering a URL, which is the URL for your site, which is WPS. I put that in. That gave me this background. So it's just a static background. I can't really do anything with it. I can't click on anything. Okay, and then also I can customize the web chat. I can give it a color. I try to match the color as close to your colors as possible. I also gave it some starters for my home screen. So I called it my rate calculator. How do I apply, and what does WPS provide? I gave it some starters to help me out. I didn't connect it to a live agent. I didn't give it any suggestions. But the other thing that I can do when I'm all set, if it all works, I can actually have the code that is generated by Watson Assistant to embed on my website to include the assistant. That's the power of it. Okay. Now, this is a preview of everything that I'm doing, but also I can actually share this link. And that's what I did over here. That's my link. So if I just refresh this page, I'm going to get that link. Okay. Now, let's try to see what the assistant is doing. And again, this is just a static page. I can't click on anything, but I can click on my website. I can click on my assistant and get information. And that's what I saw in my preview area. Right. Here's my virtual assistant. Now, what can I do? Well, let's look at some of the starters that I put in here. So what does WPS provide? And as I can see, when I click on what does WPS provide, it sends the message off to Discovery, and then Discovery pulls back the information and displays it for me in a nice format. Information that I got from your website when I did my web crawl. Okay, if I go back home and try a different one, like using the rate calculator, if I click on that one, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to bring back that rate calculator for me, and it's going to give it to me as a link. Okay, so great information there, but those are just some of the preset starters that I gave it. What if I want to type in something that's more specific? What if I want to say something like, with Medigap, can I choose my own doctor? And based on information from your website, it's going to tell me, yep, you can choose your own doctor. Now, what if I have a Medicare supplement? So I can say, do I need a Medicare supplement plan with Medigap Advantage? And again, based on your website, it's going to provide me the information that's necessary. It's going to say, nope, you don't need a Medicare plan. In fact, they cannot work together. And again, got that from your website. So all that being said, with Discovery and Assistant in about 15 minutes doing a web crawl and configuring those two things together, I produced this for one of your use cases. So think of the power that you have if you use Watson Discovery and Assistant to provide the use cases for your customers to provide exceptional customer experiences. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or talk to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.